Flames, the goaltender has to be outstanding. This is a solid hockey club right from this man out. This guy doesn't get much credit for that hockey team, but every time we look at the promos on Sports Channel, we see that tremendous save on Tony Tandy. That was sudden death in the 7th game of the preliminary series.
Stanley Cup parade in Calgary might never have been held had Vernon not been outstanding in that overtime against the Canucks. As we're underway, Ryan McClellan has been red hot. All of a sudden, scoring the goals. He works the corner against Randy Ledesur. Ray Ferraro comes up with a puck. He feeds Mikhail Anderson across to Babbitt. Dave Babbitt and Kevin Dineen into the zone. Kevin shoots a save by Vernon. It's off his blocker. And we have a souvenir with 26 seconds gone in the hockey game. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Hartford Whalers and the National Hockey League and is intended for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Hartford Whalers, the NHL, and Sports Channel is prohibited. Announcers in this broadcast are selected by Sports Channel and approved by the Hartford Whalers.
We just saw Joel Quenneville hand a puck to a young Whaler fan.
Randy Ledesur has the shot, shoots, and it doesn't make it through. Ferraro taps it wide. Ferraro tries to center. It's blocked by Doug Gilmour. And McClellan, who had 4 goals on Sunday night against Chicago in a 6-5 win over the Blackhawks, following that up with 2 against St. Louis on Tuesday night. Trying to clear that zone. Here's Ferraro in front. Indeed, he stopped Vernon with 2 stops. Make it 3 as he gets the whistle.
Wow. 3 for a quarter. That's 3 good chances right in this early going. Watch Ray Ferraro behind it. Get it in front to Kevin. There's 1, 2, and finally we're going to see the 3rd save right here. We'll see Ferraro once again get the puck to Kevin. Kevin has just turned the opposite way, not knowing where the puck was, and it was just a little too late to get a better position or a better stance to tip in the pass from Ray Ferraro. Mike Vernon's had to earn his pay. He's only going to get credit for 1 save there, but there was 3, as you said, Rick. They get mad when I was a goalie and they only give me credit for 1. Well, they just got another one now.
Ron Francis on this faceoff against Joe Nieuwendyk. Rick Natras works the puck up the boards. And he'll clear that Calgary zone. Grant Jennings is paired defensively with Brad Shaw. Grant drives the puck in. Don Krieger is hooked by Natras in his efforts to get to that puck. Krieger has it nonetheless to Verbeek, and his shot is tipped away by Jamie McCowan. McCowan lays it across to Natras. Sergei Makarov tips the pass. It's taken away by Grant Jennings. McCowan had it taken away by Francis. Ronnie cuts in, shoots a save by Vernon. He cleared the rebound. Randy Cunneyworth drives it in front of McCowan. Got a stick on that. Gary Robertson left wing with a rink-wide pass to Makarov. The 31-year-old Soviet all-star maneuvers in. Roberts looks for Nieuwendyk, and the shot bounced towards Sidorkovich. He comes out to clear it away to Randy Cunneyworth. Whalers trying to complete a change as Cunneyworth buys some time. Natras latches on. Cunneyworth continues on. Down he goes. The crowd wants a call. Pass off Nieuwendyk's stick. Calgary also wants to change up.
You know, when the Whalers played in Calgary 2 weeks ago, Natras and McClellan not in the lineup as they were as extra players, and now they're both playing a lot. They're playing pretty well for the Flames.
Maybe Tippett with a pass across, knocked down by Sergei Priakin, who also did not see action against Hartford. The meeting in Calgary a couple of weeks ago. Brad McCrimmon with a pass to Joel Otto. He spins off the check from Old Samuelson. Dean Evason works hard to get back. Priakin steals. He had Tim Hunter in front, and Adam Burt got a skate on that pass. Sidorkovich is out to clear it. Here's McCrimmon. Burt gets to it. Quickly looks for Scott Young, and he'll clear. Nearly 3 minutes gone. First period. Gary Suter back in the Calgary lineup after sitting out with a knee injury for a few games. Samuelson sends it ahead for Ed Kastelik. Speedy Paul Ranheim is on him. Mark Perreault with a pass to Theo Fleury. Lets it go. A save by Sidorkovich. He didn't see the rebound, but Babbage did. Mike Tomlak is checked in there. The drive by Theron Fleury is wild. And Kastelik with a pass trying to get it by Dana Merzen. He broke that up. And Fleury gave it up to Kastelik. Tomlak hands it to Lannister. Mikhail Anderson shoots a save by Vernon. Kastelik keeps the play alive to Lannister. Branheim is on the board. Babbage holds the play in. Dave Babbage gave it up to Fleury. And the little guy makes the pass back for Burrow. Mark Burrow's shot is off Tomlak's skate. Both teams want to change up. No score in the first 4 minutes. McClellan on a steal. He has to wait for Gilmore. Joey Mullen in after that puck, dropping it, and Ferraro intercepts. He lobs it ahead to Dineen. Big Brian McClellan to go 6'3", 215. A rink-wide pass broken up by Anderson. Dineen scampers ahead. Ferraro and Anderson join up. The pass to McHale is broken up by Joey Mullen. Anderson would have been home clean. McClellan on the 3-on-2. Back to Gilmore. The late man Mullen. He shoots a save. The rebound is sent wide. What a stop by Peter Sidorkovich, who lost his helmet. Koharski looks back, decides to allow play to continue as Sidorkovich had the helmet knocked back to him, and Vernon leaves it for McCowan.
Calgary Flames are one of the best passing teams in the league. They happen to know where the open man is all the time, and we just saw a good example of that. But Sidorkovich slid out and got his glove on the Mullen attempt.
Makarov slips out. Nieuwendyk is with him along with Roberts and McCrimmon. Makarov to Roberts. He shoots and he misses the net. Verbeek scampers back the other way. He'll shoot it in. Krieger speeds in ahead of McCrimmon. Verbeek reaches back with a puck. Francis steals it from Nieuwendyk. He will be our intermission guest tonight. Ronnie at the first intermission, and Nieuwendyk joined Jerry between periods 2 and 3. Suter, pass ahead for Nieuwendyk. He's taken down by Randy Cunnyworth. Sidorkovich leaves it for Samuelson. Still no score. We've played 4:45 here in the first period as Cunnyworth starts it in. Throws it in front. It's intercepted by Joel Otto. Dean Evison works it free. Fires through the goal mouth. And McCrimmon prevented Cunnyworth from reaching that pass.
But this is the same type of pace it was last night in the Boston Bruins Calgary Flame game, and one has to wonder how long can the Flames keep up this type of a pace.
We'll have a stoppage here as Babbage is back. 13:45 to go in the first period, no score.
He gets out of a position and he has to go down. That's exactly what happened. If you saw him, he just reached with his glove mitt to take the puck off of Mullen's stick.
Al McGinnis chased by Tippett. Riaka with a pass to tough guy Tim Hunter, held up by Tippett and the Whalers. And ex-Whaler #1 pick Dana Merzen heads up on. Riaka checked by Babbage. Joel Otto battled his way through. Ladouceur showing good strength, held him off. McGinnis takes over. 7-year veteran of the Flames defense with his pass shot back into the zone by Ladouceur. McGinnis, saw on the pregame graphic, leading all defensemen in goal scoring with 17 this season in the NHL. He trails Raymond Bourque by 2 points in that department. Fleury, his pass taken back by Babbage. It's deflected out by Scott Young. Cunnyworth is on the move. Three Flames are back, and Cunnyworth stepped around McGinnis. Evison in front. A save by Vernon, and he stopped Evison in the rebound after first robbing Scott Young. 12:41 left in the first period. Thanks to Vernon, we're still scoreless.
Randy Cunnyworth just gets his head up here, or else he would have been up in the booth with us as McGinnis tried to lay him out. Let's watch Scott Young coming in from the far side. Boy, Vernon's reading the plays very well. He's moving to where the puck is. That's the name of playing goal.
Bradshaw looks for an opening. His drive is blocked. Natras, former Canadian in St. Louis Blue, starts to play around. Fleury speeds out, and Burrow is held up by Cunnyworth. Sidorkovich steps out to handle the puck. Natras With his drive deflected away by Everson, Jamie McCowan rushes to keep the play in. Paul Ranheim fakes, goes to Fleury, and it's batted away. Natras saves the play for the Flames. And Barreau bunts with Sidorkovich as the Whalers moving out. Everson going to put a head fake on Jamie McCowan. He didn't go for it. John Young is pinned by Natras. They freeze the puck, and there is the whistle. Fleury and Everson trying to get things stirred up here. Two of the better ones in the league at doing that.
Not too many guys that Dean Everson can eat apples off their head, but Bjorn Fleury is one of them. He's just, I'll tell you, Dean's got a good 7 or 8 inches of the Theo. We'll call him Theo Fleury.
Well, Dino is usually embroiled in a battle within the team with Ray Ferraro, through the years Doug Jarvis, other players for the tallest of the little guys. They all have their own claims to that title.
Fleury certainly, I think he's got to be the shortest player in the league. I'll tell you, but he's a little pest out there.
He hangs out with McClellan and Otto.
Yeah, right.
Speaking of McClellan, here's the pass ahead for Mullen. As McCrimmon coming up, backhanded in front. It's off Sidorkovich's pad, and he'll cover it up.
That was a good play by Brad McCrimmon. All outlets were taken. So what did he do? He just backhanded it towards the net. You'll see at the top of your screen Samuelson doing a good job. So he just backhands it towards the net. Anything can happen here. And it almost did go in off of Gilmore. When in doubt, just throw it towards the cage.
Samuelson looks for some open ice. Can't find any. McClellan has 9 goals this year, 6 in those 2 games before the deadlock last night in Boston. He did not participate in the scoring there. Cale Anderson trying to get something started in that Calgary zone. Samuelson shoots, kicked out by Vernon. The puck is left, and McClellan handles it. Adam Bird keeps it into Dineen. Suter gives chase. Ferraro takes over. Gilmore wraps him up. Gary Suter with a pass around for McClellan. Pass is knocked down by Burt. Ferraro backhands it in. And Vernon plays it cautiously with Krieger speeding in on him. 10:44 remaining in the first period. Whalers and the Flames are still scoreless.
Right hand corner was almost played half the first period. The Whalers with a big edge in scoring opportunities. The Flames only good chance off the stick of Joey Mullen. Good work by the Whalers.
And a third with a shot. It makes it through, and Vernon answers with a pad save. Roberts gets the puck to Newendijk. It's slapped off his stick, and Roberts will turn and dump it in. Randy Ladouceur certainly had a jump in his skates there the other night. He had a goal and an assist in that great comeback in the second period against the Bruins. We get the whistle here for icing against Hartford.
Well, that last shot by Ladouceur was a direct result of Ronnie Francis again on the faceoff. Back to Ladouceur, as smooth as silk, and he just drifted it on Vernon. Very crisp. I'll say, of all the coaches, he's the most active. Here it is, Ladouceur with a big wind-up. Weaves its way through, but Vernon right on the circular crease. Too big to save.
Dean Evason leans in against Newendijk on this face-off. Roberts handles it, throws it on goal. Sidorkovich was alert to handle that and get the whistle.
This is the Flames' last game on the road. It's somewhat of a difficult game to approach if you are the Flames. They have a charter out of here tonight, which is making a stop in Pittsburgh, dropping off its all-star performers, then on to Toronto for an overnighter, then a direct flight into Calgary tomorrow. They just want to get it all over with.
They're leaving half their team in Pittsburgh, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, they got 4 or 5 guys in the All-Star game, the managers, the reps.
Coach Terry Crisp. Roberts chops the puck in deep in the Hartford zone. Jennings gives chase. Newendijk's right on him. Newendijk taps it away to Makarov. He centers, and Shaw was in position to break that up. Back come the Whalers. It's Krieger to Shaw. He's met by Merzen. Krieger moves it to Verbeek, out to Adam Bird. He shoots, deflected, a save by Vernon, as Krieger got a piece of that shot in front of it. Bring Makarov in the break. Makarov cuts in. He scores! Calgary opens the scoring at 10:28.
Hey, everyone was confused with Kevin Collins' signal, the linesman, when the referee is strapped. His job's to follow the play. But watch how many moves this rookie is, this 31-year-old rookie from the Soviet Union makes. One with the head, 2, 3, 4, and into the stick side of Peter Sidorkiewicz. We'll see it here from another angle. He's going to give a head move right here. Bingo. 1, 2, 3. What quick hands he's got. Adam Burt was going in for a chance. He had a shot deflected. Back came the Flames.
Now, we've told you about McInnes' shot. Certainly aware of that. He's also the all-time assist leader in the history of this franchise. And he picks up the only assist in that goal by Makarov, his 15th at 10:28. He made the smart pass out to Spring. The Soviet player. And Sidorkiewicz leaves the puck in the quarter for Tom Lack. Riakic. Checked by Samuelson. Otto muscles his way through. Tim Hunter, the pass to Natras, threw it on goal. Sidorkiewicz wants the whistle, and he gets it. 8:50 remaining here in the first period. Our score, Calgary 1 and Hartford nothing.
You know, Peter Sidorkiewicz has had a terrific season on breakaways. He has that knack of going out and shutting the player off and backing in with them. And I'll tell you, Makarov, as we were explaining, he made 4 or 5 moves with his hands, and Peter, as you could see, was right back over the line when he finally put it in. Peter's got good feet movement, and sometimes you get beat in this game.
And the penalty upcoming against Calgary as Burt was pummeled behind the net. Joel Otto controls the puck, and we have a slashing call, and it will be Tim Hunter heading off. 8:38 remaining here in the first period. Our score, the Flames 1 and the Whalers nothing.
Watch number 19 right here with the. He's going to get the slashing call. Burt makes a good move on him. That should have been holding, not slashing. There's Tim Hunter. You know, one of the tougher players in the league. Look at him.
Seeing is believing.
It looks sort of like the hood ornament of a '68 Pontiac.
Now the Whalers trying to end a slump that has a 3 for 33 in the power. A little work against the Calgary Flames. Try to start this game up. The Dean's pass is blocked, though, and Mullen clears for Calgary. Jerry has fallen quite a bit in this penalty killing department.
I'll tell you what, Rick, they were first last year, and I'm sure it went a long way to make them the best team in hockey, but 20th this year. I mean, they don't have a new set of players or a new group of players. It's just concentration, that's all. Intensity.
Ronnie Francis gets the pass. He maneuvers in. Then he battles his way to the boards against Ranheim. Babbage keeps it in. Scott Young with a shot. It's blocked by McCowan. And he'll send it off Young's shoulder and out to center ice. Whalers have outshot the Flames to this point 11-4 as we get the whistle for an offside, but it's Calgary that leads 1-0.
Tell you, the Calgary Flames defensively, their group of defensemen has got to be the biggest in the league. I look at Suter; he's the smallest one out there by a country mile. I mean, Merzen and McCowan and Natras, and even Brad McCrim was a pretty big guy.
Adam Burt with a shot at wide of Vernon, and Krieger is yanked down by Suter. We'll have another Calgary penalty. Krieger throws it in front. Anderson kicks at it. McCrimmon touches it. And the whistle blows. Don Koharski indicates holding to Gary Suter, and the Whalers will have a 2-man advantage of 44 seconds.
Well, when you have a good head of steam going down the wings, you force that defenseman to grab you, and this is exactly what happened this time. Todd Krieger is like a bullet down the wing. You'll see right there. Suter with he's got the bad knee, Suter. He might have a problem turning, but Krieger with a great burst of speed down the right side.
Hunter in the box for slashing, and now Suter off for holding. And the Whalers get a golden opportunity to try to get back on the scoreboard with the man advantage. You saw their season total, 47 goals. Their efficiency under 21%, ranking 10th best in the league.
The Flames using 2 forwards, Rick, and Gilmore and Roberts with McKinnon.
Babbage and Young remain at the point. Here's Babbage to Verbeek. Waits. His pass is knocked down, and it's cleared away as Roberts and McGinnis combined to foil the Whalers there. 28 seconds left on the penalty to Hunter. Verbeek starts it in. Beats Brandon. Back to Babbage. 2 men in front, Deneen and Verbeek. Babbage shoots. Saved by Vernon. The rebound is knocked away by Vernon with his right arm. Gilmore wants a whistle. Now he'll throw it behind the net to McGinnis. And he'll drive it down the ice, and that will take care of the rest of Hunter's penalty. And will leave a minute 16 remaining on the Suter call. 5-on-4 skater advantage now. Francis with a pass. Knocked away by McGinnis. Deneen. Hustled by McGinnis. Babbage. Shoots. Tipped by Francis. It's gloved by Vernon, and he hangs on to it.
Mike Vernon's certainly been the story today. I don't know if he's a little exhausted or maybe pulled something, but this puck gets into his glove awful fast. Babbage out in the point elects to shoot it here. Now watch Vernon. This is deflected. He's got great concentration to come up with it. There's the reaction. Whoops. Look what the Whalers are trying to do in their power plays lately. You know, they've had this before. Now watch this here. The puck's going to bounce up. The Whalers are trying to tip it above their shoulders. They have to let it go. You see right here? Leave it go. It might go in itself. Not going to count anyway. But the Whalers are trying to make plays that aren't there happen. They're trying to manufacture plays. You know what I mean? You had a 2-man advantage. Keep passing if someone's going to be open. Don't try and get it through 2 or 3 guys when you have a big edge like that.
Mattress tries to clear. Babbage keeps it in. He shoots, and Otto got a skate on that shot. Young recovers it. Gilmore took it away, and Otto will push it down the ice. 47 seconds left on the second power play chance for the Whalers. They're down 1-0 with just over 6 minutes to go in the first period. Verbeek. The pass to Deneen. Cross for Young. Doesn't have the wrist shot as Ranheim is on him. Young tees it up, but the drive is deflected by Ranheim. Mattress sails it between the point men. Ranheim comes up with it. Look out, he can really fly. And he shoots the save by Sidorkovich. Puck comes down to Young.
He can really fly and he can really shoot it, as we saw in Calgary.
The pass is blocked by Natras, and the Flames look like they have not dropped a bit in penalty killing efficiency from last year. Their exhibition here, 2 men down, and they've taken care of the second penalty. Anderson cuts in, tries to get the pass in front. McGinnis blocked it. Shaw with a shot. He didn't get good wood on it. Nieuwendyk pushes it ahead for Roberts. Roberts with his pass, knocked down by Shaw. Anderson sends the pass around for Krieger. Shaw. Advance to Anderson. It's deflected by McGinnis. Makara angles the pass. Roberts has to let it go. He's offside, and so the Whalers will play it. Randy Cunningworth steps into action. Makara takes the puck away from him. Merzen will just lob it in deep. Grant Jennings. He's carried all the way in. He'll pursue his pass. Here's a steal by Kastelik. He's held off by McCrimmon. Priakin with pass to Makara. Suter joins the attack. Harry Suter with a pass in front, and Fleury just couldn't tip it home as he was spun around. Perreault held on to the puck. The Whalers are complaining that he did grasp the puck, but they move it down the ice, and Evanson's shot is blocked by McCrimmon. Kastelik bumped in there by Priakin. Under 4 minutes to go in the first, with Calgary leading 1-0. Evason shoved to the boards by McCrimmon. Perreault run over by Burke. Pass out for Fleury. Lets it go, and it just skimmed the outer portion of the goalpost. Aaron Fleury is trying to end a 15-game goalless streak. He hasn't scored since the middle of December.
That's what his fourth shot tonight. Even though that did not hit the net, I don't think he can come any closer without hitting the net.
And the Whalers are whistled for the offside. 3:28 remaining in the first period. The Flames lead it.
5'5" Aaron Fleury right here with a bullet. Now watch it. It does hit the right post. I mean, it was off the side though. I mean, as the goaltender you say, yeah, but it was the outside of the post. Gee, what's with that? Nice, good low shot. Reminds me a little Kenny Warm. Remember Kenny Warm for the Blackhawks?
Sure do.
Fast little, but he drifted off the far side.
Fleury got off to a great start this year. He had 15 goals by the middle of December, but as they pointed out, he hasn't scored since. Here's Ferraro in for the puck. He's checked by McCowan. Ladouceur holds it in. He'll angle it behind the goal. Patrick starts it around to McClellan. That's for Doug Gilmour. Under 3 minutes remaining in the first period. Stay with us in the intermission. Gary will be visiting with Ronnie Francis heading off to the All-Star game in Pittsburgh. That'll be played Sunday afternoon. Otto catches up to the pass. Cale Anderson takes over. Down he goes. Joey Mullen steals the puck. Patrick to Otto, and he's checked by Jennings. Shaw gets it back to his defense partner. McInnes. The Flames started in. Joel Otto joined by Hunter. Takes the pass. He was bumped by Krieger. Now Jennings encounters Tim Hunter. Riakas fires, and it's off Jennings' skate and caroms across to Krieger. He speeds out of a 3-on-2. Francis. Line for Beaky. Shoots. He scores!
I picked it up, and there's a perfect pass to Pat Verbeek. And you talk about the guard spot. Here's the pass right here by the captain, Ronnie Francis. It's a beauty. Oh, my goodness, it's a nice screen cone. Everyone backs right up, and he just wrestles this right past Vernon. No chance for Vernon. I tell you, as a forward, you dream of opportunities like that.
And Verbeek gets his 25th goal from Francis and Krieger. This line did some damage in that previous encounter in Calgary. Each member of the line had a goal that night. Whalers lost, though, 6-4.
As a forward, you love those opportunities. As a goaltender, you want to be sitting in a bar watching the game somewhere. I mean, you really don't know where the shot's going. And I'll tell you, Pat Verbeek coming from out of the blue, he put everything he had into it. It reminds me somewhat of Kyle Anderson's goal the other night.
That's right. A little bit farther out.
Yeah.
But Goldie doesn't have a chance at either one. Don Koharski says that's it for line changes.
I will talk to Ronnie about that pass he laid out there when we go down for the intermission.
Nice way to head off to the All-Star game. Like to take a win with him. The Whalers have tied this game at 1. They've outshot Calgary 15-6 in the first period. Makarov looking for another breakaway. Babbage holds him up. Burt drives it in. Dana Merzen bumped in there by Young. McInnes with the pass to Makarov. Burt. As Merzen takes over, he'll send it in on goal. Sidorkovic leaves it for Ulf Samuelsson. Merzen drops it back to the Whalers line, and here comes Adam Burt. Young tees it up, fires, and it was off Vernon's arm and the goalpost and stayed out. Cunneyworth fires in front, nobody there. A minute to go in the period. Sergei Makarov. He was signed on July the 1st, coming over from the Soviet Union. He keeps going. What a move. The pass to Roberts, and his shot is blocked by Young. Roberts puts it in deep in that Whaler zone. France. He had a 6-game point streak interrupted in Boston Monday, but he has resumed it since. 2 assists against the Bruins here at home. And, of course, he set up the goal by Verbeek here in the first period. Tippett is taken down. 18 seconds remaining in the period as the battle rages on for control of that puck. It finally comes loose to McClellan. Suter and Mullen are on the attack. It's Joey Mullen. He fires and he hits the outside of the net. Sidorkovich got a piece of it. Ladouceur leaves it for Francis, and he'll wait for the horn. And there it is. The Hartford Whalers salvage a tie at the end of one, though they outshot Calgary unofficially still at this point 16-7. Peter Sidorkovich and Mike Vernon tested in that first period. Vernon had most of the pressure in that Calgary zone. The Whalers do tie it before the intermittent two-man advantage for about 45 seconds in that span. Don Koharski drops the puck to start the second period with the team tied at 1. Mikhail Anderson circles back. Makes the pass to Ladouceur. He'll lift it in deep in the Flame zone. And it's whistled for an icing call. Look at Al MacInnis, and we know about his hard shot. Jerry, what really impresses me is that how he can really feather a pass. He made some nice passes in that first period. Our next Whalers game on Sports Channel will be Tuesday night as the Whalers will host the New York Islanders. You can catch all the action live here at the Civic Center beginning at 7:30. The Whalers and the Red Hot Islanders Tuesday night on Sports Channel.
Rick, he can't be the type of a player MacInnis is, a Norris Trophy candidate, the Smythe winner last year, All-Star, without being a great passer. You know, and that's the first thing I look for in players is their ability to pass.
Sidorkovich hands the puck to Babbage. McClellan heads for the corner. Ferraro works it free to Anderson, kept in by MacInnis. Anderson surrounded by red jerseys, but he gets the job done. Merzen will send the Whalers right back in. Babbage. Pass that caroms to Ferraro. He tries to spring Anderson. And Anderson gives it to Dineen, and he had it taken away from behind by Gilmore, and the pass ends up in the Whaler bench.
If we got the time charts for the first period, I'll tell you that Terry Chris, he plays everyone just about equally. The forwards around 4 or 5 minutes each. The defense around 6-7 minutes each. There's nothing that jumps out and gets you right there. Maybe the line of Barreau, Fleury, and Hunter, not as much as the other three lines, but they're only a minute off. So he likes to utilize everyone dressed.
Whalers have Tommy Martin. Joel Quenneville scratched from the lineup tonight. Here's Grant Jennings shooting, a save by Vernon. Natras gets the puck free to Makarov, and the Flames come out. And it's Nieuwendyk starting it in. Goes to McCowan. He shoots, a save by Sidorkovich. Verbeek turns the play around. He'll race in against Natras, and Natras reached out to poke the puck away. McCowan pressured by Francis. Shaw keeps it and throws it in front, and Vernon reached out to tap that puck and get it away from Verbeek. Makarov with a pass to Roberts, tips it into Nieuwendyk. Roberts has it, he scores! Gary Roberts makes it 2-1.
This is one of these plays you never think is going to happen, but it does. Here's a pass through a group of players by Makarov over to Nieuwendyk, back to Roberts. And Roberts just throws it between Sidorkowich's legs. You know, down at the other end, Rick. Well, we'll see it again here. Now watch Makarov. First of all, make the blue line. Perfect pass. You know, as a goaltender, you say to yourself, this is never going to develop. And what happens is when Peter gets out there, he's completely off balance and he just lost his bearings. You know, you don't have to make great saves to be a good goaltender, but you have to make good plays. And that's what Vernon did on that deflection off the Verbeek stick just seconds before that goal. That's just out-and-out good goaltending.
And he has the puck. He passes to Tomlak. Backhanded in front, and it's blocked by McCrimmon. 2-1 Calgary. Roberts with his 25th from Nieuwendyk and Makarov at 134. Roberts having a career season. His previous career high was 22 goals. And he's surpassed that already early here in the second half of the season. Nice play by Tippett to Adam Bird. He shoots, and he just sends it wide. Samuelson tried to play it back in. He did, and Tomlak was offside. 17:43 to go, second period. Calgary once again has the lead.
Seconds before the Roberts goal, the Whalers with some opportunities in the other team's zone. Well, we'll get to it in a minute.
Now McInnes has the puck. Drives it on goal. It slips behind Sidorkovich, and he found it in time. Ranheim, checked by Ladouceur. Fleury's huddled in that pile up along the boards. The Whalers free the puck. It's Cunnyworth to Evason. Babbage trying to turn the corner on Perreault. Young backhands it out to Ladouceur. Fires in front, trying to hook up with Babbage, and it was deflected away. Out comes Ranheim from the University of Wisconsin. Snaps one off into Sidorkovich's pad to the backhand. He makes the stop. And away come the Whalers, led by Young. Cunnyworth takes on Ranheim. Young, checked by McInnes. Gives it to Merzen.
Peter Sidorkovich is going to have to be awful sharp now and be alert. The Flames are going to shoot from anywhere. As soon as they hit the Whalers' blue line after the Roberts goal and after bobbling that last shot by McInnes.
McClellan hurries in. Looks for Gilmore. Backhands it toward the net, and it's intercepted by Ferraro. Mullen knocks down his pass. McClellan pursued by Shaw. Back to McCowan. He fires and he misses the net. We have a delayed penalty upcoming to the Whalers. Don Koharski halts play.
Well, the Calgary Flames, with the best power play in the National Hockey League, statistically speaking, working at a 27% success rate, have their first power play of the evening.
Whalers killing the penalties, 8th best, 81%. Lately, though, been kind of a slump in the penalty killing department as well as the power play. The Whalers have surrendered 8 goals and 30 opportunities in the last 6 games since these clubs met for the first time in Calgary, January the 5th, as we look at Ray Ferraro in the box for holding.
Rick, this all started with the West Coast trip. Edmonton, Calgary, and Vancouver, they're all lightning fast arenas, and if you got your passing, the ice is always good. If you get your passing going pretty good, you'll have a successful power play out there. Of course, it helps to have Nieuwendyk, Makarov, McInnes, and Mullen and all those guys.
Suter fires, and it's deflected wide by Nieuwendyk. McInnes threw it in front. Nieuwendyk tipped it. It's golfed away. McInnes has it again. Fleury. Back to Suter. Works it toward the net. Samuelson poked it by Dave Tippett and down the ice. The Flames have 5 shots to the Whalers 1 in the second period. Here comes Fleury. Leaves it for Suter. Pressured by Tippett. Nieuwendyk's parked in front. Goes Makarov. Samuelson takes down Fleury, and Opie's going to get a penalty when the Whalers control. Fleury is shaken up, and the Flames allow the Whalers to touch the puck. It'll be roughing to Wolf Samuelson, who complains, and he will have to head to the box here. The Whalers will be down 2 men for 104.
Let's watch the action down the bottom right of your screen. Samuelson goes after Fleury. He really hasn't mugged him right there, but he has his free hand up in his face, and that's not too difficult in Fleury because of his size. But he persisted with it, and Koharski said, "No way, Jose," and called the penalty. There'll be 2 men short for 1:04. Hopefully for 1:04.
Gerard Gauthier, a Montreal native, working tonight with Kevin Collins from nearby Springfield.
You don't see Gauthier much in this arena. I would have to say he's the senior linesman. Him and Finn.
And Leon Stickle was in that category, certainly, but he's out with a serious knee injury. And the Whalers clear the zone. We've hit the 5-minute mark here of the second period. The Flames have scored in this period. Roberts gave Calgary a 2-1 lead at the 1:34 mark, and the Whalers get the job done in clearing again as Francis backhands it down the ice. Here's McInnes. Well, it's tough facing the Flames power play when you're 1 man down. What's it like when you're 2 men down?
Pretty easy if the Flames keep up this way. They've just got no effort here.
Well, All-Star point men Suter and McGinnis were having their problems there for a moment. Shaw drives the puck off Francis' stick, and it's lifted down the ice. And the crowd gets a lift from this. 15 seconds remaining in the Ferraro penalty. Evason steals, and the Flames are sent packing once again.
It's amazing, Rick, for 1 minute and 6 seconds, and that's what it's going to be because this other first penalty should be up. Not 1 second of control in the Whaler zone just now.
Suter cuts in. Throws it back to Makarov. He had Nieuwendyk open and waiting for a pass, but Bird picked it off, and the Whalers now a man down and 45 seconds remaining in the Samuelson penalty for roughing. Calgary leads 2-1, and here's little Fleury to drive it in around for Nieuwendyk. He'll join Jerry at the intermission coming up. Fleury in the meantime finds Nieuwendyk. McGinnis, here it comes, and a stick save by Peter Sidorkiewicz. The puck is chopped down the ice by Evason.
Almost everyone can tell the way when he winds up.
I was looking for a place to duck up here. Nieuwendyk starts it in. He's met by Adam Bird. Bird shoves him to the ice as Ladouceur holds off Fleury. Bird has the puck, and he gets it by McGinnis. The Whalers have done it. They've killed the two-man disadvantage for 1:04. And the remaining time on the penalty to Samuelson. The game remains 2-1 Calgary.
That's against the best power play in the league. Good effort.
Each team has killed a two-man disadvantage in this contest. Dineen works the corner, gets it in front, and he's robbed by Mike Vernon as Dineen nearly completed a tremendous play.
Doesn't it always happen after you're successful in killing a two-man disadvantage? You come up with an opportunity, but good work by Dineen. He finally just flips it to Vernon, and Vernon is just ultra cool. We'll get a better angle like this. I kind of thought it might have just missed, but as a goaltender, you can't tell. No, that was on the money. We'll give him credit for a shot on goal. Good effort by Dineen, and solid goaltending by Michael Vernon.
Gilmore and Ferraro on the face-off, and Natras takes control off the pass out of his own end. Anderson sends it ahead to Dineen. Ferraro tries to shake loose. Natras had a head start. Cale Anderson is stripped of the puck by Gilmore. Mullen is with him. Gilmore turns it back to McClellan. Natras with a shot. It's blocked by Anderson. McCowan wrists it in deep. McClellan trying to stop it in front. He does. It's swept away by Sidorkiewicz. McClellan bounces off a check. His pass is tipped. McCowan saves the play. Gilmore quickly centers. Ferraro intercepts. Cale Anderson bumps into Natras. He anticipated a big hit along those boards. Whalers change up. The Francis line is on. Here's the shot by Otto, and he sends it wide. Priakin. Adam Bird is down, shaken up on the Whaler defense as he went into that corner with Joel Otto. 11:51 remaining in the second period. The Whalers trail 2-1.
Well, Adam Bird will be helped off the ice. He fell to the left of Peter Sidorkiewicz in the corner. And from just listening to Koharski, he blew the whistle very quickly, and a good call by the referee. And it just seems by the way he's holding his shoulder that it could be a shoulder or it's certainly a left arm injury. But I heard Koharski yell from up here. He blew the whistle and he yelled for Tommy Woodcock, the trainer, and he yelled shoulder. So he's holding it like it might have popped out or something like that. I'm not sure, Rick, but I believe he's had a little problem with that shoulder.
Yes, he did in training camp last year. That set him back, certainly starting his pro career, and he ended up back at junior. But we'll have to wait for an official word on what has happened to Adam Bird. Certainly that's a development that Ricky Lee doesn't want to see. Tonight Cote's close to coming back. He's expected back next week when play resumes in the National Hockey League. Of course, Coco's been out with a knee injury. Here's Ladouceur back to play the puck around to Tippett. Ladouceur with a pass to Samuelson. Castellan. Forced wide and into the corner by Suter. Out comes Big Otto, who goes 6'4" and 230 pounds. Leads it for Sergei Priakin. His shot is wide. Dave Tippett Thompson out of his own end. Riakin, not a small player by any means either, 6'3" and 210. He was the first player let out of the Soviet Union by the Soviet National League to play in the NHL last year. Here's a pass to Makarov. He cuts in, he shoots, and it's blocked by Samuelson.
I think we'll call him an experimenter.
He has not played much in Calgary. In fact, spent a week in the minor leagues, just returned back. Here's Nieuwendyk shooting, a save by Sidorkovich. Well, the Flames have had the pressure on in the second period. Shots are 7-2, Calgary. And the Flames have a 2-1 lead. Out comes McCowan, ahead for Roberts. Met by Shaw. Cunningworth taps at the puck. Nieuwendyk whirls and fires it in front. Makarov is across for it. Shaw. Roberts played it to Makarov. Makarov waits for some help. He's chased by Jennings. Makarov in front. The shot is poked away by Sidorkovich. And we have a penalty upcoming against the Whalers. And Hartford will be shorthanded.
Well, Sergei Makarov shows why he's the leading rookie in the year. Look in the middle of your screen. Bradshaw, he takes Gary Roberts to the ice. And anytime you allow an individual to have the puck for as long as Makarov had it, there's only going to be bad things that happen you're in. In this case, a holding call to Shaw. Well, I thought they were going to play a little Sweet Georgia Brown there, or some sort of music. You have the pucks along the ball. A lot of argument about the Rookie of the Year. Once again, every time we see these guys play, it brings up that topic.
McGinnis with his pass deflected by Tomlak as the Flames have their third straight power play chance. The Whalers, of course, held them off on a two-man advantage for 1 minute and 4 seconds and finished off the remaining time on the second penalty earlier in this period. Suter follows the play in deep into the attacking zone. McClellan tries to pry the puck free. Deneen does, and he'll send it down the ice. Collins takes his spill as McGinnis has to hurry. Mikhail Anderson's right with him.
That was right in front of the Calgary bench where Collins fell. The worst part about that is listening to all the players and their smart remarks.
McGinnis rushed by Mikhail Anderson. McClellan tapped it away. Deneen, though, outfoxes Joey Mullen. And Kevin Deneen races ahead against Suter, who reached out to poke it out of his grasp. Deneen keeps going. 55 seconds left on the penalty. The Flames still haven't regained control. Now they do. Deneen and McClellan start to push and shove as Kevin goes off on a change. Tippett and Evason, Jennings, and Babbage will try to finish up this Calgary power play. Babbage with his clearing attempt knocked down. Makarov has the puck. He has Roberts planted in front. Makarov with a pass behind Gary Roberts. McGinnis takes it. Takes the shot. Goes to Nieuwendyk. 25 seconds remaining on the power play for Calgary. Suter into Makarov. Back to Roberts. The backhander is set wide in a big collision involving Tippett, Roberts, and Sidorkovich. Roberts lost his helmet. McGinnis is open. Here it comes, and it's tipped by Evason. Jennings plays it off the glass. Kept in by McGinnis. Penalty's almost over. Evason's without his stick. Here's Suter firing it in deep to Makarov. Whalers at full strength, and the pass is over Nieuwendyk's stick. It's intercepted by Shaw. Out for Tippett. Babbage steps into the zone. Francis off the bench shoots, and he just misses the net. Nieuwendyk is held up by Randy Lenitzer and Francis. Stick handles in. Fakes. Looks for Krieger. He hit the post. Francis grabbed by Suter. In front for Krieger. Calgary penalties upcoming now as Nieuwendyk is taken heavily into the boards by Krieger, and the whistle blows, and a holding call results against the Flames.
The Flames just off a power play opportunity. Got caught deep in the Whalers' end. You see what happened. Ronnie Francis with a nifty pass to Krieger and right off the left post. We'll finally see at the top right of your screen, Suter takes Francis to the ice, and the Whalers turn to go into power play. I'll tell you, the Calgary power play was awful for about 1 minute and 40 seconds, but for the last 20 it was tremendous.
Francis line in front of Young and Babbage go to work of the power play. Otto against Ronnie in this draw. Plains control, and in a matter of 2 seconds, they clear. Gary, Ronnie mentioned to you that they like to work the Calgary defense. And that's been their success formula against this club as the pressure continues. They were out against McInnes and Suter. They're not two mullets, as you like to call them. Those are two all-stars. Here's Young shooting, and he misses the net.
They've just been on the ice rink for 2 minutes on that power play. I'm sure they're a little tired, but they're the quicker of the Plain defense.
Babbage with a drive, a stick save by Vernon. The rebound ends up into the crowd.
Yeah, I think what Ronnie was referring to, like the McCowans, Mersden, Natras, McCrimmon, not the quick guys. But in all fairness, the Suter and the McInnes, they were drained at the end of that power play.
Francis and Otto on the face-off. Natras can't clear. Babbage takes the drive. It's off the skate as it hit Gilmore. Krieger to Francis. Around the horn to Babbage. Back to Verbeek. Babbage shoots, and it's blocked by Otto. He got a piece of that pass. Hard to get anything around Joel Otto.
He's a Redwood.
Gilmore clears. 55 seconds left on the holding call to Suter. Whalers trail 2-1. 6:15 to go in the second period. Francis collides with McCowan, comes out with a puck. Young has no room to get the shot away. Mullen was there to meet him. Verbeek is checked by Natras. Francis, who has been showing his all-star form, wheeling and dealing that puck tonight. Krieger is tangled up with McCowan, and Mullen clears. Gilmore gets to it. He shoots, a save by Sidorkovich. And he covers the puck with a whistle with 20 seconds to go on the Calgary penalty.
But we said in the first intermission, the Whalers got to be patient and, don't give them anything. There's a long time to go, and this is what happens when you get a little frustrated. You start digging the puck out with anyone protecting your end. Gilmore with a chance. The Flames used some very good offensive players in killing penalties. That last tandem was Gilmore and Mullen. That's enough to make you be a little protective back there.
They have so many good pairs of forwards that Terry Crisp likes to use together.
Yeah, I think when he mixes lines, he only mixes one person from those lines. He keeps the, like Mullen and Gilmore, Newendike and Makarov.
Ferraro controls that draw. Dineen looking for Anderson to speed ahead. He gets the carom. Cal Anderson back to Dineen. Ferraro's in front. Kevin shoots, and he misses in the short side. Ferraro is tied up by Mersden. And Ray had an open side there for a moment, but he was at a serious size disadvantage as the penalty ends.
Ray was the only one who knew the puck come off the boards funny. He had everyone fooled, but Mersden just turned the right way.
Vernon clears. Madison backs things up as the forwards get back on side. Dineen, who had that dramatic tying goal on Wednesday night, fires it in. And we have penalties coming up, one to each club. 5:03 remaining, second period. The Flames lead it on a Gary Roberts goal.
A couple of penalties behind the play. McCrimmon for roughing, Ferraro for slashing. They'll be coincidental. Teams will remain at even strength. The Flames picked it up a notch this period, but they're not blowing the Whaler goal over with opportunities. They're playing a lot harder than they did in the first.
Samuelson has the open lane. His drive is handled by Vernon. The pass out for Joe Newendike. Leaves it. Makarov fakes the shot. Waits. Fires it in front. It's on the skate. Natras takes it. The wrist shot is stopped by Sidorkovich. And out comes Cunnyworth. McCowan is back. Cunnyworth makes his move. McCowan right there to play him. Randy sweeps it in front. It's taken away by Natras. He'll make the safe play. Icing is waved off. 4.5 to go, second period. Flames lead at 2-1. The only goal of this period was scored by Roberts. That has given Calgary the advantage. Newendike pushes the puck along to his longtime buddy Gary Roberts. Samuelson takes it. Makarov Goes to work on him. Outboxes him with the puck. Nieuwendyk is belted by Samuelson. Makarov keeps the play alive. Feeds McCowan. The wrist shot is handled by Sidorkovich. He has to play it. All of a sudden, Roberts came in there. Nieuwendyk is stopped by Sidorkovich. And this time, he's able to get a whistle.
Some uncertainty down there. You know, when the goaltender has the puck or is going to field it, there has to be communication between he and his defenseman on the ice, and forwards also. Peter's sort of confused right here. I doubt if there's much talk going on when he had the puck. I'll tell you one thing, though. The second time, he froze it. He wasn't going to release that. Not against Nieuwendyk, Roberts, and Makarov. We look at Terry Crisp. Last time we looked at him, he was talking. Terry, very active, done a great job with that hockey club. Sometimes a top team is tough to coach.
2 years behind the bench, 2 President's Trophies as the regular season champs, as well as a Stanley Cup as Sidorkovich stepped in front of that blazing shot by McGinnis. Fleury risks the pass toward the corner. Edison goes in after it. Francis is checked by Ranheim. Babbitt moves it along to Verbeek. Plenty of Flames were back, and Merzen has the puck. He gets it to Ranheim, and Verbeek lifts it back in deep in the Calgary zone. Merzen around for Ranheim, and here's Fleury. Broken up nicely by Babbitt. Mark Perreault touches the puck, and the Flames are whistled offside.
Yesterday's heroes, you mean?
Yeah, the old-timers, well, the alumni. Masters.
I was supposed to play in that. I scratched myself. You got the bad wheel anyway, don't you? We have the whistle for a... Yeah, I couldn't have got ready for that. I couldn't have got ready for that big Heroes of Hockey match.
Billy Smith will be playing.
Cash, Frank Mahovlich, Pete Mahovlich. They got a good crew down there, a good cast.
Yeah.
And it'll be played for laughs.
Maybe a few beers.
Well, little side wagers.
Under 3 minutes to go. The second period of this one. Oilers with Francis on for the face-off. Tippett and Kastelik are the wings. Ladouceur and Samuelson are the defensemen. We'll be checking in with another player heading for the All-Star game at the intermission, Joe Nieuwendyk of the Flames, who leads Calgary with 26 goals. And with an assist tonight, 56 points. Priakin is crunched into the boards by Kastelik. As Tippett, stick handles in. Kastelik throws it back toward the net. Tippett was well covered. Kastelik keeps the puck moving, steps around Hunter. He feeds Ladouceur, who fires a save as Tippett was dumped out in front. Vernon looking for an interference call as he talks to Koharski. Priakin on the backhand is forced wide, and so is the net as Hunter busted toward the goal along with old Samuelson.
Don Koharski, talking with Kevin Collins, is signaling that the faceoff will be outside. In other words, he's saying that Tim Hunter was guilty of taking this net off its moorings. Maybe it should have been an interference penalty rather than just a faceoff outside. Does that make sense? Don Koharski looks like he's laid off the donuts for a while anyway. Looks in pretty good shape. He's had an eventful year as far as injuries go.
Yeah, he injured a leg, was out for quite a while, and then suffered another leg injury. I don't know if it was the same type injury or not, but he's just now getting back to action. I think he came back to work last weekend. It's been an unbelievable year for injuries to the officials. When you think about it, you kind of wonder why it doesn't happen more often. The speed of the game and everything else, and the fact they're on the ice for the whole game, it's amazing they're not hurt more often. Here's Gilmore cutting in. Leaves it for Mullen. Taken down by Babbage. Play continues. Now we get a whistle as Mullen covered the puck with 1:45 to go in the second period.
We caught Koharski last year in an injury when he hurt his ankle. He lifted the wrong foot and cut it to the other foot in Buffalo. We're doing a game in Buffalo. I think the referees are going to have to start wearing those little helmets with the red siren on it, the red light going around.
Stay out of their way. Dave Newell has been injured. Bill McCreary for a while. Andy Van Helleman, whom we saw on Wednesday here, missed some time. Paul Dvorsky was playing hurt. He had some bad ribs. He didn't need bad ribs. He suffered a rib injury. And now down and shaken up is Mikael Anderson. He's writhing in pain on the ice after being hit with a shot in the leg. And Tom Woodcock is called upon once again to come out and have a look. He escorted Adam Burt off earlier in this period with some sort of left arm injury, whether it was a shoulder, wrist, or what the problem was. We're awaiting word on that. And looks like it's a left leg problem here for Mikael Anderson. Let's have another look. Now it's McInnes. Just the guy you don't want to be driving one into your ankle. Anderson is in a lot of pain. He's being helped up, and he can hardly put any weight on that left leg at all. He's being helped to the bench here with 1:38 to go in the second period, and the Whalers down 2-1. So one of their more reliable weapons of the past couple of months hobbling off. Back to the middle of, the beginning of December, and Anderson has piled up 17 points in 14 games, and of course he had to miss 6 games because of a knee injury suffered against Los Angeles on the 13th of that month. And he came right back and picked up the scoring pace again. Now he heads for the dressing room, and we hope it's nothing serious as play continues. Bradshaw is watched by Gilmore. Babbitt heads up ice. He keeps going. Finally, it's poked away by Merzen. The puck is cleared by McInnes. Tippett lifts the pass off the Calgary stick and into the bench area. Mike Komlak goes down. He's all right. Skippy Cunningham, equipment manager, helps him back on the bench. Verbeek, Francis, and Krieger, the Whalers' most effective line once again against Calgary. In tonight's game goes to work. The Whalers are looking for an equalizer. Suter's pass is off the glass. It bounces to Francis. He keeps it and he shoots and he just misses. Under a minute to go in the second period. Roberts, the pass knocked down. He recovers it to Makarov. Nieuwendyk, and it's swept away by Ladouceur. Samuelson, pass to Krieger. He's covered by McCrimmon. Nieuwendyk slips in. Back to Roberts. Samuelson moves it along to Francis. Around to Krieger. Pass ahead to Verbeek. Gilmore shoots, and it's off Ladouceur's leg. Here's Francis. Passes over Verbeek's stick. And Suter's back with 5 seconds. The lead is handled by Roberts, and it bounces away to Samuelson. They had a disagreement previously down that portion of the ice, and they get up and will head to the dressing rooms here at record. But it's been a struggle, and this is certainly a tough stretch with the competition that's coming in this particular homestand.
Well, first things first, Rick, it's, I don't think they can play much better than they had tonight. They laid off maybe somewhat in the second period, but they're just playing a terrific hockey team this evening, and a team that you can see is getting their act together.
Well, we pointed out in the open, the Calgary Flames trail Edmonton by just a point. And they can take first place in the Smythe with a victory. The Oilers are idle tonight, and of course tonight's action ends the NHL action for the weekend in the regular season. For the All-Star break, they'll pick up again Tuesday. Joe Mullen gives the puck to Brian McClellan, fakes the shot. Ladouceur stayed right with him. Gilmore with a pass that hit Ray Ferraro. And it deflects back into the Calgary zone. Nhl Rs, who played on the all-rookie team, was named to that all-rookie team with Gary Suter. When Dana was with the Whalers back in 85-86. Here's Francis. Makes the pass to Krieger, speeding in. Trying to turn that corner, still has the puck. Still has it. Gets it back to Jennings. Pushes it toward the net. It's blocked by Natras and clear. We have a penalty against Calgary as Verbeek was taken down in front of Mike Vernon as McCowan controls the puck. The whistle blows. We've played only a minute 16 here in the third.
This penalty, you see McCowan right in the middle. He's got Verbeek. It takes him to the ice. But this is very similar to the penalty Brad Shaw got in the second period when Makarov was scooting around the outside, the perimeter of the play. This time it was Krieger on the outside.
Babich drives the puck in. Oilers have missed in their 3 power play chances tonight. And of course, they're in that 3 for 36 slump. Now would be a great time for them to break out of it as Kevin Dineen. And the puck taken away by Natras. McGinnis is double teamed. Francis works it to Dineen. Francis sends it back out to Young. Takes the shot and he just fires it wide. Babich pinch it in. Keeps the play in as he bumps with Ranheim. This time, McGinnis is able to clear. Very crisp gets Gilmore and Mullen on the ice. Work up front on the penalty-killing unit. Natras gets to the puck. His pass hit Francis. McGinnis recovers it. And he sails it over Dineen's shoulder and out of the zone.
The Whalers are getting caught along the boards too often in this power play. That's an ally of the penalty-killing team.
Gilmore quickly sends the Whalers back, and Dave Babich will start the rush. Ricky Lee sends out Krieger, Evason, and Ferraro up front. Babich trying to maneuver around at McCrimmon. He simply took the puck off Babich's stick and will push it back into Hartford ice. 40 seconds to go in the penalty.
It looked like the Flames could have had a break there, but McCrimmon did what you're supposed to do. Ice it.
Young drives it in. Evason works that corner. Ferraro back to Evason and out to Babich. Takes the shot. It's wide. A rebound bounces to Ranheim. He charges into the off wing. Lowers that shoulder. Dumps the puck in the goal mouth. And Babich takes it with 8 seconds to go on the McCowan penalty. Ferraro has to reach back for the puck. As a result, the Whalers have to reorganize, and McCowan will get an opportunity to join the play. Penalty's over, and Evason is just offside.
You got to like it when a young player such as Ranheim drops that shoulder, as you described, going towards the net. We'll have a look at it right now. Good speed. He knows it's the only way to get an opportunity. The right shoulder goes down and towards the net. I like that player, Ranheim. I think he's going to be all right.
A nice year last year in Salt Lake City. 68 goals for Paul Baxter. Here's Makarov, pulled down by Cunnyworth as Shaw picks up the puck. Madisur will shoot it in. Vernon lets it go. It's going to be icing. And there's the whistle. We've played nearly 4 minutes here in period 3, and Calgary clings to that 2-1 lead.
Calgary Flames playing a very conservative type of hockey tonight. They're really not all out to blow open the game and go offense. They're really concentrating on playing a strict defensive game.
Otto wins the draw. McCrimmon has trouble with the puck. The Flames will have to reorganize at center. Jerry, you compare their record this year with last year. They're 13 points behind their pace of a year ago. As Francis maneuvers in against Suter. McCrimmon moves the puck around for Priakin. I think the big difference with the two records is defensively. They've given up 27 more goals this year than they have, or they did at this point last season. Krieger goes down. He complains to Koharski that he was fouled by McCrimmon, but Toho doesn't agree.
Well, one goes with the other, Rick. When your goals against go up, your record goes down. That's exactly what's happened to the Flames not paying much attention to their goals against.
It really hurt them early in the season. But lately, they had a stretch of 11 games where they'd given up only 28 goals until last weekend. They gave up 6 in a loss at Toronto, 1 in Chicago despite giving up 5. But, of course, they won 5-2 in St. Louis and had the 2-2 tie last night at Boston Garden. Ferraro shoots and a save by Vernon. He steers it aside for Merzen. Fleury fights to get to that puck at center, but Tomlak wouldn't let him. Kevin Dineen gains control, and Tomlak just beat him across the line, and Kevin Collins halts play.
Last night, the Flames playing in Boston, a perfect hockey game. Both Bruin goals were a result of very close calls at the blue line. The Flames complaining on one of them that it was, and it certainly seemed the replay was offside, but the Lions would not take any chances at the lines tonight. Mike Tomlin getting a chance to play with Kyle Anderson not returning for this third period.
And Adam Bird is not on the Whaler bench either, so Ricky Lee is handcuffed a bit with 5 defensemen and 11 forwards for this third period. Ferraro stepped into the zone. Fires in front, it's blocked. McInnes puts it on Gilmore's stick. McClellan is with him. Pass is knocked down by Ladouceur. McInnes pokes it toward the net. It's cleared away by Sidorkovic. Whalers are down 2-1 here in the third. Just over 14 minutes remaining. Ladouceur gives it to Ferraro. Waits for something to develop here. And McClellan pokes it free, and out Babbitt takes it for the Whalers. Out for Tomlak. Usually found at center. And Gary mentioned he's on left wing here with the shortage of forwards. Both teams change up. Roberts, Nieuwendyk, and Makarov step on for the Flames. Natras has to play that pass. Sevison beats it in front, and it's tapped away by Natras. It's Natras. The pass up the middle, knocked down by Makarov, and Shaw gets to it ahead of Nieuwendyk. And the pass is over 2 lines.
What Kevin Collins is saying here, that it did not touch Scotty Young. It glanced off the boards to Dean Evason. That's why the 2-line offside call. Well, the Whalers got to crank it up somehow and start getting a little closer to Vernon. As we said, the Flames playing sound defensive hockey right now. They're the team that we mentioned. This is the 5th game of a 5-game road trip. They're on their way to the oil fields of Alberta after this. Played last night in Boston.
It's been a long journey for them this season with the training camp in the Soviet Union and 16 of their first 26 games on the road. I guess they still have 2 more 5-game trips left in the season. They were home for quite a spell there around the holidays.
That's the trouble out west. I mean, they have to come 3 or 4 times east, 4 or 5 times probably, where the eastern teams only have to go there at the most twice. And I mean, they obviously, their natural rivalry is the Edmonton Oilers. They'd like to play them maybe 20 times a year as far as travel goes. Vancouver would be next, and that's an hour and a half, 2 hours away. LA's in their division. It's tough. It's tough travel out there.
Travel-wise, it might work out between Calgary and Edmonton, but they may not have any players left to continue the series. The way those 2 clubs go at it. They split the recent home-and-home series. In fact, visiting team won both times. Here's Suter with a drive, and it is tipped over the net. Ryakin gives the puck to Tim Hunter. Otto makes his way to the corner. He's checked in there by Pat Verbeek, who wins the battle. Suter drives it right back in under 13 minutes to go here in the third period. The Whalers are down 2-1. Their goal came from Pat Verbeek late in the first period. That tied the game at once. Sergei Makarov had scored in a breakaway earlier, midway through that period. Roberts scored early in the second to give Calgary the lead it now holds. Verbeek battles in that corner with Tim Hunter. Freeman with a pass to Farron Fleury. On the move now, it's Ranheim. He cuts wide. His pass is blocked by Babbage. Fleury, the backhand, the shovel pass. It's intercepted by Verbeek. Verbeek gets to the puck. He's pulled down. Fans want to call. They don't get it. Ranheim taps it ahead to Fleury. Going to drop it back. No one was there. And here's Samuelson in a 3-on-2. Ferraro cuts in against Merzen. The pass is dug away by McInnes as Samuelson was driving toward the net. Mark Barreau gives it to Fleury ahead for Ranheim. Shaw gets a head start on it, but misses on the check. And Brad finds the puck. He'll bounce it in wide of Mike Vernon. Mullen's pass intercepted by Deneen. Fired. Saved by Mike Vernon with Tippett right on the doorstep with him. Fleury flips it in deep. Flames get Gilmore's line back out there. Mullen and McClellan on the wings. McCowan and Natras work defensively. Gilmore trying to spring big Brian McClellan. The pass goes awry. But right there is Gilmore to pick it up. He fires in front. Natras off the carom. Fans at his shot. Zadorkovich has to contend with big McClellan. The puck is loose and it's tapped wide by Gilmore. McCowan. He sends it in down the boards. Cunningworth gets a head start on that chase for the puck. McClellan gets back onside. Fans don't like that call either, as Babbage works it away to Dean Evison.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. That looked like a mile and a half offside. He must have had a reason for not calling it.
Bad carom in the corner, but the Whalers have plenty of time to recover with the Flames changing up. We're nearing the midway point of third period play with Calgary leading 2-1. Out comes Joe Nieuwendyk. Roberts bunts the pass into the zone. Akara is over there hustling for it. Francis comes away. Young and Cunningworth are with him. Young shoots. A save by Vernon. Now the Flames have McInnes. The Whalers have their cannon and Scott Young, but he's held off here. It's still 2-1 Calgary.
Not many shots in this third period, but here's one as Scott Young is going to one-time it as the Flame defense backs off. You can tell that Vernon is sharp because at that particular time the defense backed right in, but he never budged. He come right out and stayed top of the crease. A little accident up here in the booth.
Well, I'm glad you're not in the lineup for tomorrow's game, Jerry. The glove hand. Not what it used to be.
It never was.
Well, spillage here in the broadcast area. Here's Tim Hunter. Pass ahead for Otto. Nice play by Samuelson to anticipate that pass. Jennings goes down. He makes the play to Krieger. And now Grant Jennings is shaken up. Tommy Woodcock's been as busy as some of the players on the ice tonight.
Well, he's going to need roller skates. Jennings, coming into this game, had a hip problem or something in the... He's shaken up somewhat.
Lost his balance in trying to concentrate on clearing that puck. See if we can have a look at it here.
Ooh. Yeah, I think that's something in the buttocks, I guess, is what I'm thinking of. A buttocks problem.
Well, Jennings remains on the bench. Good sign there, as the Whalers are already down to 5 defensemen with Adam Burt in the dressing room with an apparent left arm injury or shoulder injury. Shaw with a pass to Ladouceur. He'll angle it in. Krieger speeds in there. He'll take on Dana Merzen, who puts him down, and Merzen will be put in the penalty box. Despite his protestations, holding is the call. 9:18 remaining. Third period, it's 2-1 Calgary.
Well, we'll have a look at the penalty du jour. Holding. Well, I can't argue with that. Todd Krieger with good speed. Got a half a step ahead of Dana Merzen and was taken to the ice. What's that, about the 7th or 8th holding call? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
7 out of 10. don't know how we got a high stick or rough and a flash in there, but here's McCrimmon. His pass is knocked down by Dineen. For Beek. Back out to Babbage. Across to Young. The one-timer. They score!
Wow, I think we named the wrong man the shot tonight. Well, at least you said, I'm wondering if this was tip, Rick. I got to believe maybe Ronnie France. Let's take a look at it. Good old pass by Dave Babbage, and here's the one-timer by Scott Young. Well, I don't think it was Ronnie Francis in place. Let's look at Kevin Dineen coming out of the corner. Yeah, it looked like Kevin tipped it down. We'll see who gets credit for the goal. Nevertheless, a great release by Scott Young. I'm thinking that second replay will give it to Kevin.
And it looked like he got it, whether it was a double deflection or not. Ronnie was in tight so much it was difficult to see. And it is Dineen's goal. Young and Babbage assist on Kevin's 17th on the season. And he has tied this game now at 2. And a power play goal for the Whalers, giving them a 1-for-5 total in that department. We have 8:46 remaining in the third period. Suter sends it in wide. Sidorkovich clears the zone. Mullen will flip it back into the Whalers zone. Dave Tippett hands it to Ferraro. Here's Babbage on the rush. Dineen shoots, and it's blocked by Suter. Kevin gets it back from Babbage. Wrists it on goal. Ferraro. The rebound, and Vernon made the stop again. Gilmore relieves the pressure.
Momentum has changed. The arrow's pointing towards the Whalers.
Shaw shovels the pass along. McInnes. Gives the puck to Roberts. Neuendijk maneuvers in against Randy Ladouceur. Backcourt at Shaw. He kicks the puck along. Evason gets to it. Ladouceur. 4 Flames back. Randy shoots it in around for Young. Neuendijk steps in there to interrupt things. McInnes with 7.5 to go in the third. The pass to Roberts. The rugged left winger taps it to Neuendijk. And the pass went off Evason's stick and into the Whaler bench area. Well, the sellout crowd has come to life. The Whalers tying things up. McCowan's drive is handled by Sidorkovich. Kevin, of course, scored the tying goal against the Bruins in the final 17 seconds of regulation time Wednesday night. He has both Whaler tying goals this season. We get an icing called against Calgary. 7:04 to go in the third. The Whalers have knotted this game up at 2.
Coach Kerry Chris with the Flames has stayed with the 4 lines. Certainly the Whalers, certainly because of injuries, have gone to 3 lines.
Dineen steals, centers for Tippett. The pass was in his shin pads. Dineen gets it back. Out to Shaw. Off Dineen, and it rockets to Mullen. Ryan McClellan lifts it back toward the Whalers zone, and it's Brad Shaw. Going to find Ray Ferraro. That was broken up by the new captain of the Flames, Brad McCrimmon. The retirement of Jim Poplinski earlier this year. Sidorkovich leaves it for Babbage. Around to Shaw. On pass to Dineen. 3 Flames are back. Here's Ferraro on the move. He'll take on Suter. Now we'll dump it in. The 11-year man, McCrimmon, is met there by Dineen, who fell into the play as he was spun around. Suter joins the attack for the Flames. At a speed around Samuelson. One-handed in front. Ladouceur was there to take it away from Joel Otto. Hunter knocks down the pass as it's Otto slipping it to Priakin. Looks for Tim Hunter. The backhander is wide. Hunter's after his own rebound, but he doesn't have enough help. Merzen, wrist shot, dug away. The rebound is stopped by Sidorkovich. Tim Hunter on that second try. Merzen has it again. The drive is blocked by Scott Young. He's trying to come off, and Verbeek comes on for him. Cunneyworth with a pass to Verbeek. Held up by McInnes, who's been solid on the Flames defense tonight. He didn't just make the second All-Star team for his shot. Babich with a pass just by Cunneyworth. It'll be icing if the Flames win the race, and McInnes does. Well, Nittany Lions, maybe they cover the pass and pursue the run pretty well.
Yeah.
Here's Babich with a clearing pass. Nieuwendyk gets it back. Nieuwendyk steps in. A lane opens up for him. He's hooked from behind, and Koharski will give the Flames a power play with 5:03 remaining here in the third period. The game is tied at 2.
You certainly can't let a skilled player like Joe Nieuwendyk get loose this late in the game, because once he crosses that blue line, he gets fire in his eyes. You see Ronnie's reaction as he got the hook into Nieuwendyk to take him down.
Calgary is a power play for the 5th time. McInnes gives it to Fleury. McInnes back to Theron Fleury. In deep to Nieuwendyk. Fleury, who has 8 power play goals this year, but he's in a slump, as we noted. Here's Suter shooting, a stick save by Sidorkovic. McInnes fires it front. It's tipped just wide by Nieuwendyk. Well, that's one of his calling cards. Nieuwendyk with a pass stolen by Evason. He takes his time and puts it in deep in the Calgary zone.
Nieuwendyk really does have a knack in redirecting that puck, as he's facing the shooter, not the goal.
Sidorkovic is out to clear the puck. McInnes is belted by Deneen, and the puck is cleared by Ladouceur, and it's off Gerard Gauthier. Got him in the back of the head. He's all right.
They might have to get another puck after this shift, though. Just kidding.
Here's McInnes with Mullen tipping the pass in there. Gilmore tries to center. McClellan storms the net. They score! On the rebound, the Whalers maintain the puck was kicked in, but Koharski nods his head yes, he's going to allow it. It appears to make it 3-2 Calgary.
This goal might have been in before it was kicked in. That's why Koharski. Watch McClellan now, big number 27, come into your picture. Right there it might be in. No, we can't see it. Now we're going to have a good look at this in the replay. Boy, we gathered a crowd up here for this replay. We'll take a look at it again. Let's watch McClellan come in from the right of your screen. No, that goes off Peter Sidorka's match. It is not in yet. The Whalers with a terrific case right here. I'm sure that Koharski is saying he did not intentionally kick it. Now watch this. It's going to go off Sidorkowich's mask right there. And watch you'll see right here. He's just trying to get a I can't honestly say it. It's crazy to be able to honestly say something, but I don't think he did it intentionally.
I didn't really see, as we see Gerard Gauthier being worked on by Tommy Woodcock, but tough to see the impact of where that puck hit that actually went off McClellan's skate. I think he was dragging that skate with that in mind, trying to disguise it as well as he could, but I think if that's how the puck went in, Koharski had reason to wave it off. He had an excellent view of the play from the corner, though. It wasn't like he was behind the play or anything, and our replay was inconclusive. Let's see one more time.
Yeah, let's see one more time. Oh, I see right. Look at his right hand.
Okay.
Wow, I'll tell you one thing.
Okay.
There's great evidence right there.
Yeah.
We were wrong, so wrong.
Yeah.
Implying it was his right leg, his right hand. His right hand.
We sound pretty sure of ourselves.
He's right-handed. Don't forget that. No, but let's see this again. I don't know if we're going to get a chance to see this again, as our guys can cue it up again. We've got some time as the linesman being worked on. Thank you, guys. Now watch the right hand of big 27 McClellan. Right there, right hand, Rick. You see he takes his hand off his stick?
I think he got them both in there. Look at that.
And he bats it in, and this is cause for an argument and a cause for a replay, and only in situations like this. You thought he was left-handed. Right-handed. Meanwhile,
I think he hit it with both his hands.
Well, maybe he did. Maybe he hit it with his right hand and directed it with his stick or something.
I think he did. With his left hand came off the stick.
Well, after that third shot on the replay, I have good reason to believe that they should not have counted that goal, and the faceoff should have been outside. That's the bummer.
Well, apparently Don Koharski wasn't convinced that he directed the puck in with his glove, either hand. And in result, it's 3-2 Calgary with 3:43 remaining in the third period. Francis directs the puck in deep in that Calgary zone. Natras around to Makarov. Krieger. Makarov taps at it for Beek. In front to Krieger, and he couldn't snap the shot off. Babbage does, and he drove it right into McCowan. And up ice comes Nieuwendyk. It hopped over his stick for Beek. Grabs it. The pass to Krieger, in for Francis. Directs it in front and tipped by Krieger and covered by Vernon. And we get Verbeek shoving in there with Gary Roberts. And the whistle blows with 3:09 remaining in regulation time. Well, amid all the controversy and the injury to Gauthier, the announcement on the goal got by us here. McClellan gets credit for his 10th of the season, his 7th in 4 games. Mullen and Gilmore the assists at 16-16. Power play goal for Calgary. Out comes McClellan. Cunningworth is back. Cross to Babbage. Cunningworth drives it in. Suter is pressured by Ferraro, but Gary Suter clears the zone, and it will be an icing called against Calgary. The Whalers will get an opportunity to get that face off on the other end and go to work. Randy Cunningworth leans on that stick. I'm sure he's got one that's in solid shape for the final minutes of play. Now he will come off at a line change, and Francis and Verbeek come on.
Rick, this is a tough confrontation for Ron Francis, who we know has just had a super year at draws. Joel Otto will be taking the face-off, and Joel Otto certainly matches Ronnie in height and reach. And this is a tough assignment for Ron. I would have to feel Joel Otto is one of the best in the league behind Ron.
They lean in. Kevin Collins will do the honors. Trying to get Verbeek to back up along with Mullen. Puck is dropped. And Verbeek sliced in there. To foil the Flames' plan for the moment. Gilmore finally cleared.
See what Otto did. He didn't try to outdraw Ron Francis. He tried to just to tie a win for the defensive man in that situation.
Suter's back. No icing. Overskates the puck. Francis trying to slip into Verbeek. Deneen has room. Walks in front. His shot is blocked. Babbage with a drive, and that was blocked by Joey Mullen, who landed on the seat of his pants very quickly. The Flames, with 2 minutes to go, change up, and Babbage gives the puck to Verbeek.
You see how they won the Stanley Cup. Both Mullen and Gilmore sliding in front of shots.
Hunter and Deneen are going at it behind the play. Koharski looks on, and now the whistle blows, and Hunter takes a shot at Kevin Deneen. And Collins is in there. Kevin throws the gloves off. Well, that's going to make this call all the more interesting.
And this happened as the play was going up ice, Rick, but Koharski was right on the spot. He saw what happened. But we could clearly see when I look back that Hunter was going after Kevin. The question is instigation. And
Hunter is dumb like a fox in this situation because he knows, as everyone knows, in the final minutes, it's Deneen, the man they want to get off the ice.
Yeah. This is not Hunter's first deal in this type of a situation. But you're right. The call it's going to be interesting. Let's watch it in the corner. Now, here's what I saw. So that is an instigation call to Hunter. And that's sort of a
roundhouse
for Kevin.
Yeah.
I think if Collins had if Collins made the call, they'd both get 10 minutes. He was in the middle. He was the ham and the sandwich when they got to the ice.
Jerry, as we enter the late stages here, and we have a 5-minute major on the board against Deneen and 4 minutes against Hunter. So each team's going to be down a man.
Now, this will not affect, really, this is not as bad as it seems for the Whalers right now. It only could be bad in the 3rd minute of overtime when the Flames would have a minute power play. Now, I didn't hear the 5-minute call, or maybe it was for throwing once Hunter was down. 1:52 left in the hockey game. You'd think there'd be more chances 4-on-4 anyway, and that favors the Whalers if they trail by a goal.
Babbage, spun around by Gilmore. Mullen takes over. Down he goes, and Young has it. The relay race so far is Young. Backhands it in behind Krieger. He scoots in there, overskates the puck. Francis outmaneuvers Mullen, throws it into the goal mouth and in the slot area. Now as Gilmore controls, we have a holding penalty against Jamie McCowan as he latched on to Todd Krieger. The Whalers down 3-2 with Francis for Beek, Young and Babbage on. Flames have Otto and Gilmore in front of McGinnis. Here's Babbage. Looks for an opening. Goes to Young. Sidorkovich heads for the bench. The extra man Ferraro. Young shoots it. Vernon got a stick on it. Now it's a 5-on-3 with the Whalers having an empty net. Francis gets the pass. To Babbage shooting, and it's blocked by Gilmore. He'll clear it down the ice. 1:05 left in the 3rd period, as you see.
Otto and Gilmore, 2 forwards, along with McInnes, are the defenders in this situation.
Young maneuvers in. 2 men in front. The pass comes back to Babbage. Across to Francis. Young. To Francis. Back to Young. He shoots. It's off the body. They score! Head for Beek. And Ray Ferraro were in front. The Whalers tie it up with 41 seconds to go.
You know, there was no one in the penalty box, but let's watch this goal. This shot gets up, and Scott Young, he's going to want time. Well, let's see who gets this goal. Well, it hits Ferraro. No, it is Ferraro between the legs. He took the hit and pumped it in. 3-3, 41 seconds. So let's hit Ferraro, and he just stands there. That's one of the problems of using 2 forwards in killing penalties like this. You always should leave. There'll be one person open in front of the net. There's 2 of your up guys. I gotta believe there's a timeout. Now the Whalers remain on the power play. Let's not forget this with 41 seconds left.
Otto, Gilmore, and Natras form the trio on the ice for the Flames. The Whalers have Babbage, Young, Verbeek, and Francis at it once again. Ferraro's goal is 18th from Young and Francis at 19-19. The Whalers' 2nd power play goal of the period and of the game. The battle's on for that loose puck. Young gets rid of it, but right to Natras, and he'll push it down the ice as Sidorkovich gave it up to Gilmore. He's bumped by Babbage. Verbeek gathers it in. 10 seconds to go. 3-3, we're tied as Young cuts against the grain. He shoots, and it's hit by Natras. 2 seconds to go. The faceoff will be inside the blue line, but still in Calgary territory. It'll be Gilmore and Evason on this faceoff, and we will go to overtime. Peter Sidorkovich and the Whalers will regroup at the bench, and the Flames will get together in front of Terry Chris. But the Whalers once again come from behind to earn that point.
And the Calgary Flames managed to hang on to at least a 3-3 draw there. Calgary in the Smythe division, 2nd placed, and Hartford staying in the Adams division, 4th placed. And that's your NHL this week on Screen Sport.